Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today I wanted to do like an unboxing / first impressions of a Wood River 4.5 bench plane. I don't have a 4.5 plane, and I've been wanting one for a while, and I made the choice to go with a new one, kind of I guess for obvious reasons. I want the reliability and ease of setup and whatnot. Just if I have one plane in my arsenal that is it's kind of like getting that new car. You know, you drive around old beaters all the time, but you want to have that one solid new car that's always reliable and user friendly and all that kind of jazz. So so I decided to go ahead and get a Wood River 4.5 bench plane. I also wanted to touch on like a few other things that I've had going on in the around the cabin. Kind of catch up and update on the treadle stone restoration that I've been doing, as well as the post drill that you guys saw in my last video. First, we'll go ahead and do the unboxing and first impressions. Hopefully that works. Sorry about the lighting. It always sucks because I am not a photographer or videographer or whatever you call them. So I have not taken this out of the box yet. I have no idea what's going to be in here waiting for me. Well, I do, but oh wow, more stuff you don't need. So trash. I bought this from Woodcraft. This plane costs $174.99. A little pricey, but hopefully it's worth it. Alright, so that's what comes in the box. In that box, anyway. And hopefully you guys can see this whole thing. Okay, so it slides out from the side. That's weird. This is, I think, besides my shooting plane, which I still haven't made a shooting board for it, and a Lee Nielsen shoulder plane. Oh, and I guess I have been buying a few new planes here lately. I bought the shooting board plane, the shooting plane from Veritas. And I got this big boy here from Woodcraft. It's the Wood River. A while back I bought a Lee Nielsen shoulder plane, which is right here. And I gotta say, I really do like this plane. It's probably a little bit too large. Larger than what I think I need, but I have a Woody that does the same thing, so I may end up selling this guy. And I did break down and purchase this guy. Yep, Lee Nielsen low angle rabbiting block plane. This came off the recommendation of the Samurai Carpenter, of all people. Yeah. I really agreed with what he had to say, so I went ahead and picked one up. And this will allow me to sell off a lot of other tools, including the shoulder plane you just saw. So let's go ahead and get into this guy. First impression pulling it out of the box is that it's heavy, and I kind of like that. I like that from a standpoint of this particular plane because it's going to be a dedicated all-around slash smoothing plane. I may make it just a dedicated smoothing plane. And it is wide. It doesn't, you can't really tell from video like everything else, but this sucker's wide. And I can't believe they shipped it like this, but they shipped it with, and I bought this, I didn't buy this like used off of eBay or anything. I bought this straight off from Woodcraft, but they shipped it with the blade sticking out. The iron was sticking out. So, just like any plane, these days anyway, you got your lever cap. Pretty standard stuff here. Nothing real sexy. See, then you got your cap iron and your iron. Much thicker than as to be expected of a new plane. And it has a new, or I guess I should say old, style of iron to it. This is the old style iron. People think that they're a new style, but really this is going back to like the Woody days, right? So if you look at, let me pull out one of my wood planes as a comparison. This is I need to clean up the iron on this guy, but see see what I'm saying? It's very, very similar in style, anyway. Anyway, so moving on, it's a really stout iron, and I like that. It comes with all this cosmoline stuff all over it, so I don't know if it's cosmoline, but it's whatever they ship it in to keep it from rusting. So I'm just gonna kind of pull it apart a little bit here. And just a little kerosene to kind of break it up a little bit. Help it come off a little easier. Obviously, the iron is going to need to be sharpened. And it's pretty sharp as it is. I mean, you could probably cut wood with it, but not not to our standards. The heft of the plane was obvious, kind of surprising, really. I wasn't expecting it to be quite so heavy. I was expecting it to be heavier, but not quite that heavy. I'm not going to sharpen it and use it right here, right now, but Just want to kind of give you guys a rundown of what I see. And kind of Rob Cosman, something like that. I think the guy is a pompous ass, quite frankly, but he does know what he's doing and what he's talking about. He comes off as a pompous ass anyway. But he's the one that did the original review on this that I saw. He helps them in the development of these planes. And yeah. So I like the features, the new features that he was talking about that he had helped, he gave input on. And I'll give you some of my initial where's my kerosene at?
Register today at alc.org/walk.
There's some really nice things about this plane that I think you'll agree with me on regarding design. Okay, so a few things that I noticed right off the bat that I may or may not have noticed from the video he did. The frog, you can tell without me having to even point it out, that's almost a mirror finish on there. I mean, it's a nice machined surface, and it's not a junk casting like most of your old Stanleys. All the rest of them that I have in my toolbox, they're kind of a junky casting. This is a really, really nice, solid machined block of probably steel. Another feature in the design, right? This, if you are new to the woodworking world, this is a bedrock style plane. You can tell by the top here, and you can tell by the fact that there's no adjust. These are screws. Well, these aren't screws. These are adjustment. I don't know what you want to call them. They're pins, adjustment pins. That at the bottom of them there's a divot. That these two screws in the back, right here. And there's another one right here. Those two screws will go into the divots that are just higher than where those screws points are, and it will draw the frog down. It'll suck it down to the plane body. So that's perfect. Everybody's always raving about the bedrock. I enjoy my one and only bedrock plane that I have. Now I have two of them, I guess. Two bedrock style planes anyway. The lateral adjustment lever. There's like a, you won't be able to see it or hear it maybe. Well, you did see it there. There's like a little centering notch right there that it kind of sits into, so you know where the center is, kind of without thinking about it. That's kind of interesting. That might be something that wears off with time, but we'll see. There's a little niblet right here. Instead of it being one thing, one piece, it's got two little screws that you take the little brass adjustment knob off with. And your lever cap screw is made out of brass. It appears to be brass anyways. This knob right here, the adjustment knob, it is two things that I can notice about it right away. One, well, three I guess. It's made out of brass, and that's really good. The yoke, this little piece right here that actually advances and retracts your cutter, is like super tight. The tolerances are really, really good. I'm a machinist, right? So I notice little things like that. How long does it take when you start turning the knob for it to start going the other direction? And this is, as you can see, no, you can't see, I guess, but it's almost immediate. And it's a really large knob. I hate when it's just far enough for my fingers where I can't really get my fingers on there to get enough torque on there to advance the cutter or retract it, whatever I'm trying to do. That's really annoying, and this large knob is just perfect. I've never been a 3-finger playing kind of guy. I like all 4 fingers on here. And with this, right, I don't have huge hands, but I got pretty large hands, I guess. But I get on there, and I get, there's the top. And I can get all 4 on there, and I will use it with all 4 most likely. Because it may not grab onto the top of the handle, but it doesn't go past. It doesn't go past this lateral adjustment lever either. I'm not even going to bother checking the bottom, the sole, because you can tell, and it's brand new. I mean, it's perfect condition. I will have to tune this plane, take all the rough edges off, tighten everything up, tune it the way that I want it and such, but I just wanted to give the unboxing and kind of give a first impressions. It's heavy, it's much wider, right? So let me get my other number 4 out. And just this comparison, right? So here's the number 3. Right? And they're both bedrock style planes. Oh, another thing I like about this that I even have on my 3, but it's much bigger, is that tall tote, or the knob up front. So you can get them with a short one or a tall one. I prefer the tall ones, but like anything, there's give and take. The tall ones are going to crack before the shorter ones because obviously you're putting more torque on them. But here's the number 4 up against the number 4.5. So that you can see the difference, how much wider this really is. Let me try and get a little bit better. Here, now I can support it and feel it. So there you go. That is even flush across the bottom, and that's how much wider it is. And just for the sake of measurements, you're at 2 3/8 wide on the 4, so 2 3/8. And I'm going to guess this is probably around a little over 2. Okay, so we're at 2 7/8 here on just shy of 2 7/8. If you burn, let me see. Let me burn an inch. Yeah. So 2 7/8. So there's your difference in measurements. Everything feels real high quality on this thing. I mean, it's great. I love holding this thing in my hand. It fits really good. Everything actually is really tight out of the factory, so I'm pleased with that. I have absolutely no complaints about this thing at all. So number 4.5 by Wood River, sold by Woodcraft. 175 bucks ish, something like that. Get the exact price again. Yeah. There you go. $174.99. So 175 bucks, but I think it's going to be well worth it. This will last me the rest of my woodworking life as long as I don't drop it and shatter it. I really enjoy my number 3. This is definitely not, I mean, I could. It's obviously a much smaller plane, but I look at it, isn't she beautiful? There's just something to be said. When you grab this tool, you know you're grabbing a new tool. When you grab this tool, you know you're grabbing something special. I don't know, there's just not much, there's not really a whole lot you can say to explain that feeling until you've held them all in your hand. Let me go ahead and put all this back for the time being. And I'll show you guys what I've been up to. It's even good tension on the on the lever cap. Yeah, so I gotta go through and wipe all of the... God, this thing is so heavy. It's just a lot of weight. I wish I had a scale so I could measure it for you, but it weighs a whole lot more than my number 4. I mean, I'd probably say it weighs probably twice as much as my number 4. And that's something else. Look at the length in there. It's longer. I wasn't expecting that, but it is longer. They're both standing on end, same spot. There you go. Number 4. This is a Stanley number 4, a Bailey number 4. This is the double date. If you're into planes, you know what that means. Yeah. I love this guy, don't get me wrong. But this guy might turn into my go-to. I don't know. I'll let you know after I play with her for a little while. About a year down the road, maybe, I'll give her a review after I've thoroughly tested her out. And we'll go from there. But for now, I'll go ahead and show you a few other tools that I've purchased over the last, I don't know, month or so. And then I'll give you a walk around outside to kind of show you what I've been working on. So let's get all this stuff out the way. And you saw it earlier, but it's not brand new to me, but it's pretty new to my collection. It's only a few months. I don't think it's quite been 6 months yet. I still need to address a lot of issues, not a lot, but some minor issues with this guy. But this is a Razy style smoother, and they are so light. That's the one of the great things that I love about wood planes is how light they are, and the fact that you can make these yourself, really. And I've been watching a guy on YouTube, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's got a lot of videos out on how to make your own planes. And So yeah, I will definitely be trying my hand at plane making sooner or later. But I don't know if you can see this, but check this out, right? See how it's not flush on the back? I don't know if you can really see that or not. That is really, really nice. Well, you can see it kind of there, how it kind of cants back this way. That is super, super nice. Whoever came up with the design, that little design feature was, it was good. But this is an awesome little smoother. When I feel really vintage, I'll use it, vice my other ones. I also got another one. This is a relatively new guy for me. And there you go. It's another Woody. I've been picking up Woodies over the last couple months. I got my first one, I don't know, a while back. I guess a couple years now. Jeez. But she's down in my antique wood chest, or tool chest. But yeah, I'm loving the wood planes. They just have a completely different feel, and when I get them all good and tuned and right and put them through their paces, I'll kind of give you a little bit better tutorial on the Woodies. So, I got, I've gotten so many tools, I really should just do like a big tool review, because if you've been following my channel, you know that I have been kind of amassing a collection of tools, not only because I'm a woodworker, but because I'm going to be retiring in about a year, about this time next year, and I'll be building my own homestead, and so that's a big deal. I'll be building it with only hand tools and all by myself, and hopefully I will get much better at videoing and have much better equipment and lighting and all that jazz. But yeah, so I've been amassing my tool collection, getting ready for this massive undertaking, massive journey, adventure, whatever you want to call it. And some tools I just get because I'm a woodworker, and some of them I get because I know I'm going to be needing them for timber framing and whatnot. But I guess we'll get into this bad boy. So as you can see, y'all saw this slick already. This is a 3-inch slick. And I need to make a handle for it like this guy, because I like this one much, much better. This is a 2.5-inch slick. They're both Greenlees. Some people don't like Greenlee chisels or woodworking tools, but I happen to love Greenlee. I fell in love with one of the very first tools I ever got. Was this old draw knife. And, well, can't see it all that great, but it's a Greenlee. And she is filthy as all get up, but the steel held up really good. It was easy to sharpen, to keep sharp, and it stayed sharp. And I mean, you just don't, I don't know, maybe it's the steel, the ergonomics of this one particular draw knife, but I really, really like Greenlee tools it all started because of this one draw knife. But Greenlee tools are great. And then I have a 2-inch, so the 3.5, or 3, 2.5. And then these guys here are Robert Sorby's. I still need to address these. They're all sharp, but I need to get them tuned up for my style. Take all the crap off of the handles and sink these collars a little bit better because they get loose sometimes. So I got a 2-inch, a 1.5 inch, and a 1 inch. And this is really only the tip of the iceberg for my chisel. I don't know what you want to call it. You might call me a chisel hog, but I have a lot of chisels because I use them for lots of different things. And I'll kind of explain a few of them here, right? So these little guys are just like timber framing slicks, but they're much shorter, as you can tell, right? So these are both 2-inch framing chisels, but one's a firmer chisel and one's a slick. Much longer iron, right? So this is great for the long joints and the paring, and this is good for just that short stuff that you got to brute through. If I'm going to pound on something, I mean, this is as thick as a mortising chisel. So there you go. I just got an email from a guy I met on YouTube. Bobby Hardy, saw your email coming through. I'll read it in a little bit. So yeah, I've got an assortment of the firmer chisels, and then in this set I also have paring chisels, which is if you've ever tried to pare something and you didn't have a paring chisel and wish you did, yeah, I can't really say much about it, but that's what these are for. They're getting into those real long joints that need a little bit of finesse. So I've got an assortment of those as well. And I just used this old rag here, this old t-shirt, to kind of keep things from touching. And well, I'll get that in just a second. Like I showed you earlier, this is that Lee Nielsen low angle rabbiting block plane. I have used this a couple times already, and it is everything it's cracked up to be for a block plane. I mean, yeah, it's really awesome. And then I picked this guy up. I have not touched it at all, but I got a pretty good deal on this guy. This is obviously in need of restoration, but this is called a compass plane. And as you can probably imagine, you just twist on this lever right here and it starts coming up, right? And you can do concave surfaces with that, and then you keep going a little bit further and you can do convex. So you can plane convex shapes, which you can really plane convex without that. But this helps you guide along at the right right height for removal. All right, as you already know, I'm sure you've seen my huge carving chisel set. I picked up one of these little guys from File. Little carving draw knife. These are really, really light. Really small, dainty work. I couldn't count how many times I've had to go to a chisel because I wanted to use something just like this for drawing, and I just didn't have one, so I went ahead and purchased one. Sometimes I buy things because I know I'm going to need them, or sometimes I buy tools that I've needed at one point or another and couldn't get the job done, or had to do it a different way that I didn't want to do it. Trying to think of new tools. There's a few other things here and there, but that's pretty much it. So for right now, I will take you outside, but first I'm going to show you right here. These are all the parts, all restored, painted, and everything. These are all the parts for the post drill. Yeah, and all the hardware is in the box here. But I'll be putting that together soon. I got to sharpen all my tools, all my irons and chisels and everything tonight, so that I can get to town to make the post for the post drill, as well as a well, I'll just show you. Might help if I turn some lights on out here, even though it's in the middle of the day. So as you can see, I've got 2 treadle stones. Just finished restoring the one closest to us, as you could already figured out, I'm sure. But try and get a decent walk around of this guy. And I gotta say, that was a little more challenging than I thought. It wasn't too bad, but yeah. I still have to finish. It's actually right over there getting plasti dipped, but still got to do the dripper. I really hope you guys can see this, because the lighting's kind of iffy, and I can't. I'm holding my computer literally, but let me put you up here. And just as a comparison, sort of, this is this one, right? And that's what it used to look like. Just all rusty, needing attention, like that one's screaming for. But just as you know, if you were to, obviously I'm not sharpening this, but you'll have a dripper right here, and you just sit on here and you sharpen away. The dripper is what gives you it gives you like the water on top of the stone, and then it breaks loose some of the sandstone, and that slurry that's on there is what's actually, you know, like your grinding compound, if you will. That's what's actually sharpening your tool. So you don't want, now these come with, well, mine, this one did, the other one didn't, but it came with this base that basically sits right in here like so, right? Just sits on there like that. And these are pieces that I have to remake, or at least clean up, modify. And this sits right on top of it, underneath the stone. A lot of people think that you're supposed to fill this up with water, and you could, but the only problem with that is that now you're washing away all the slurry that you're using to sharpen your tools with. The tray or the bucket, whatever underneath, and from what I can tell, really, I mean, I have a couple of them, but they, I just got done restoring this one, and I still need to restore that one. I've never been a big user of these, so I can't really tell you from a whole lot of experience. I have used them, but not to any extent, and yeah, I think it's used more for catching the water, in case you're like inside or whatever. So yeah, so you got your water dripping from the top, and it gets caught in the well down at the bottom. And yeah, everything else is pretty much normal, sort of. I think that's about all I've got for this video. So yeah, hope you like the update, and if not, you can always find a different channel. Maybe soon we'll get into some more woodworking. I gotta make that post and recreate or readdress those other wooden pieces from the post drill and the treadle stone. So who knows? Maybe I'll film it. Maybe I won't. There's a lot of things that I do that I don't film, just because it's kind of pointless to kind of redo the same thing over and over again. But just wanted to give you guys a shout out update on what's going on here at the cabin and what I've been up to. And now I've done it, so now you can go click on somebody else's YouTube channel and watch their videos. Friends and family, I love you. Everyone else, I'll see you on the next clip.